Windy Apple of Oakville, Ontario. And we're going to start up with this sweet deck from the Faithless Brewing community in Pioneer. So we're playing Scion of Urza. So we do not have access to Urza, Lord High Artificer in Pioneer, but what we do have access to is Karn, Scion of Urza, who actually was printed first. So Karn's got some interesting abilities here. It's a 4-mana generic Planeswalker, so any deck could play this card. And the +1 and -1 are actually pretty respective of Karn going into any deck. So you've got +1, reveal the top 2 cards of your library, an opponent chooses one of them, put that card into your hand and exile the other with a silver counter on it. And then you have -1, put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. So it's basically just a little card draw engine. So you +1, reveal the top 2, you're going to get the worst of those two, contextual to the game state. So if they want to resolve something next turn and you flip a counter spell and a threat, they might, give you the threat, even though it's they want to resolve something. Maybe it's a Wrath of God, so they're not going to care about your threat. A lot of the times this is +1, draw a land, and then the other card goes into exile, but you can get that card next turn. So it's kind of the suspend, draw 2. But Karn's third ability, -2, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. This is the same as Urza's enter the battlefield trigger, except that Karn on resolution can make 1, and then the next turn can make another 1 and still have 1 loyalty and start plussing the turn after that. So this is the most impactful ability on Karn that we're interested in here. So we are playing a decent density of artifacts to make sure that that construct is of a reasonable size, and we're also playing the card Shadowspear to give our creature trample, lifelink, and +1/+1. I got this from a gentleman by the name of Brian. I don't know what more I'm going to share about his name, but I will link his Goldfish deck page in the video. So we've also got the card Whir of Invention. So this does not see a lot of play in Pioneer because compared to Modern, a lot of the silver bullet cards you can put in your deck are not as powerful, and the general artifact package has not proven to be as good. However, there are some decent other things we can be going for with Whir of Invention. So our main deck silver bullets are Hope of Ghirapur, which is good against counter magic and or sweeper decks because we can stop their ability to cast non-creature spells for a turn. With Emry, we could loop that infinitely. We also have 2 copies of Pithing Needle to turn off troublesome activated abilities from permanents. As I mentioned, the Shadowspear. Soul Guide Lantern gives us some graveyard hate in game 1 and costs 1 to bring it into play, which is pretty reasonable. We've got 2 Sparring Constructs. This isn't really one of our silver bullets, but it is a creature that we can play out early and block with it and put a counter on one of our other creatures. We've also got a Singleton Witch's Oven. I'm not entirely convinced that the Witch's Oven needs to be here, but it's certainly a way to accrue value, and if we're sacrificing creatures for food tokens, those are more artifacts. Then up here at the 2 slot, also there's a Golden Egg. At the sort of 2-ish creature slot, we've got Hangarback Walker, which is a good blocker, can keep cranking up in a grindy matchup and become a bunch of Thopters, which is useful for us. And Stonecoil Serpent, which generally seems pretty good in the Pioneer meta. There's a lot of gold-based removal, and it just comes in as a sort of X mana XX with reach, trample, and pro multicolor. We've also got Psy Master Thopterist with the large number of cheap artifacts that we have to play. Psy can generate a lot of Thopters and also cycle things for value, and it's also just a 3-mana 1/4, which is a pretty good wall. I jumped up and mentioned Emry a little bit earlier. Emry is just a great engine card, being able to come into play on turn 2, I believe, very reasonably in this deck, but for the low cost of 1 mana. We've got an Inventors Fair in the mana base. Maybe it would be good to have 2, even though it's legendary. I'm not sure about that. And then worthy of note is Mystic Forge, which is a 4-mana artifact. It says you can look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact card or a colorless non-land card. So between all of our artifacts and our Karns, it looks like we have 17, 21, 25. So almost half the deck is those things. And then Mystic Forge can also exile the top card of your library by paying 1 life and tapping. So It's just a very, very powerful engine for grinding, and we can also fetch it with Whir of Invention. And then we do have another Planeswalker in the deck. It's Tezzeret, Artifice Master. Brian was saying this overperforms in the matches that he's played so far. I played this in Standard. Definitely a more impressive card than it looks like. The +1 to create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying is acceptable. The -9 is not really that interesting, but the 0 of draw a card, but if you control 3 or more artifacts, you draw 2 cards, is actually quite powerful. You just resolve Tezzeret, and then he just sits there, and it's like a double Howling Mine for you for the rest of the game. Sideboard includes cards like Mystical Dispute to fight against sort of counter magic blue decks, proactive blue threats as well. Brazen Borrower as a way to bounce things and sort of have a little tempo threat. Saheeli Sublime Artificer. This can help us go very, very wide against a number of decks, similar to Psi Master Thopterist. We've got a singleton aligned Hedron network. This would be very good if we run into something like the mono green beatdown deck. This will exile almost all their creatures until it's removed. We've got Damping Sphere. It's good against some of the combo decks. An extra copy of Shadowspear, extra copy of Pithing Needle, 2 extra copies of Hope of Ghirapur, and 1 Tormod's Crypt. So between this little section here is a bunch of silver bullets and extra copies of things that we already have in the main deck to shore up some troublesome matchups. So we're going to hop into a Pioneer League and see how this goes. I'm pretty excited about it. If you take the Brazen Borrowers out of the sideboard, this is also a very, very reasonable budget deck for anyone who's interested to play Pioneer on a budget. Let's see how it goes. Definitely not one of the, known meta decks, but it seems promising, seems neat. There's nothing wrong with playing someone's neat brew, seeing if you can give any useful feedback to them as we go. Things I'll be interested in with playing this deck as constructed is how well do we match up against aggressive decks, mid-range decks, and control decks as broad categories. I think we've got a lot of play against combo decks. The linear combo decks in Pioneer are not expecting you to have much disruption in game 1 for their specific plans, so being able to tutor in something like a Soul Guide Lantern or otherwise could prove to be very, very powerful. That's not what I wanted. I want this thing, and this thing, and that thing. Single Castle Vantress, we might be able to play 2 of those if we want them. I feel like there must be more utility lands in this format, but I'm not sure 100% what they would be and which ones we'd want to play. Go do a Scryfall search while we're waiting. Oh, there we go. All right, winning the die roll, good place to start. It's a pretty awkward hand. We don't have enough blue to cast Whir of Invention, so our early game is going to be pretty mediocre. I'm going to ship this. This might be a playable hand in this deck, but it doesn't look promising. This is much better. So we can play Hangarback Walker on 2. We're going to bottom one of the islands. So play Hangarback Walker on turn 2, Emry on turn 3 for 1 mana, and also be able to crank our Hangarback Walker. I refer to activating the ability here on the Hangarback Walker as cranking. Blue-green leading on Elvish Mystic. Don't know what that means, but it's okay. They're not going to know what we're doing means. Playing the Hanging Boy. One Hangery Boy. The Hangarback Walker. Alright, what do you got over there, nerd? Is this blue-green Eldrazi? Is it blue-green Elves? Is it the blue-green, sort of the mono-green aggro deck, but with Disdainful Strokes, perhaps? Lenoir? Okay. Mystic. Whew. Holy freaking crap. It's a lot of mana. Okay, passing it over to us. That's fine. So we've got a Whir for a decent amount next turn. We're going to play Emry for 1 here. Trigger. Pithing Needle and Stonecoil Serpent. Cool. So Stonecoil can come out for 4 next turn, or we can play Karn and put a Construct into play that's going to be 3/3, maybe a 4/4. Emry does not allow you to put Darksteel Citadel into play, just FYI. You can cast that card, but you don't cast lands, you play lands. Okay, they got Castle Vantress. They could activate that this turn. Yep. So 6 mana. 7 mana. Voracious Hydra. Yep. So it's coming in as a 5/6, and they're going to be able to fight something with it. I'm assuming they're going to fight my Emry. Yes, they are. Yeah, that's fine. Not great, but fine. Crank our Hangarback Walker. This turn we could whir for a total of 3. I don't know if that's particularly worth it. Could put a Construct into play. The Voracious Hydra does trample. It's not the best situation right here. So, sorry, we could whir for 2. Or I can whir for 1 while still being able to activate the Hangarback Walker. So the question is there anything that's worth getting on 1? Not really. Just Pithing Needle, Hope, Shadowspear, Soul Guide Lantern. I suppose Shadowspear could be okay to crack back. Or we can play Karn out and make a Construct that's a 3/3. The Voracious Hydra is likely to swing into our Karn. Then next turn we could pop out the Shadowspear and equip an attack. Doesn't seem super great, but so we're just gonna play Karn. Yeah. Make a Construct. And pass the turn. If they attack our Karn with the Voracious Hydra, I think we might just have to let him eat it. They've got a bunch of cards in their hand, which is not the greatest of feels for us. They're just really, really going to be able to keep slamming a bunch of big threats here if they want to. Is this Vivian Arcbow Ranger? If it is, that's going to be real bad. Oh, nope, 6 mana. This is an ungodly amount of mana. Nykthos taps for essentially 3, I believe. Spend 2 and you get 5. Oh, yep. Hopefully they fight the Hangarback with this. I'm sure they won't. No, of course not. Sure. Yeah, we're going to be in big trouble this game. Next game, we do get to board in our aligned Hedron network, so that's okay. Certainly going to have a little more play in the next game, I guess. So we can crank the Hangarback, but I think we're just going to get buried here. So we can take the hit for 12 here, so I'm inclined to do so. Then we could fetch nothing important. I guess I could get Mystic Forge. Yeah, I could. It's probably got the highest chance of pulling us back into this game. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. There you are. Of course, we've got an island on top, but we're going to be able to draw that on our turn. Second island on top, because why wouldn't it be? Pay 1, exile that. It's going to be... Well, second Mox Amber is not the end of the world. And then an Emry. So we're stuck. And I think we just lose. Yep. Alright. Let's try this. Game 2. So not feeling super great there. Alright, so things that we're interested in. Brazen Borrower is probably pretty good. Aligned Hedron network, also good. And potentially a second Shadowspear. Nothing else seems particularly appealing. Pithing Needle seems quite poor. Soul Guide Lantern as well. Everything else seems kind of okay down there. Need another 2 cuts. I like the idea of getting up to Tezzeret. And Sai seems already 2. Most of the rest of the deck seems fine. They're not trying to burn us out. I'm going to cut the Golden Egg and maybe the Witch's Oven. So 5 artifacts, we're adding 2 and 3 Brazen Borrowers. Problem with Witch's Oven is it looks like a lot of their creatures trample, and they're and blanking their removal doesn't seem very good. Think we could try it this way. Hopefully they don't have exactly the perfect mix of creatures that can fight our creatures again. Maybe worth keeping the one of Soul Guide Lantern. Maybe we'll ditch 1 Tezzeret. I'm just hedging my bet that there's probably copies of Uro in their deck, and Soul Guide Lantern is pretty good there. That's a pretty miserable opening hand. Don't think I can keep that. That is even worse. Yeah, opponent on 7. This is not good at all, but we're going to keep this one. Bottom 2 Darksteel Citadels, and off to the quote-unquote races. So hitting some pretty rough variance in this first match. Yeah, we have no way to interact with that. By design, but it's still a little rough. Maybe I should have boarded out the 1 Hope of Ghirapur. Yeah, I missed it. Definitely don't really need a legendary Thopter. Just left the 1 in by accident or not knowing the deck list well enough. Goose. Rough. They got a crazy amount of Excel. Oh boy. I mean, I suppose that's good for us. Okay, so we can play Stonecoil here for 2, and then play Emry. Maybe my Emry gets to survive at least 1 turn this game. If so, we can use Emry for a mana, getting the Mox Amber out, or we can play the Hope of Ghirapur again, which is not super great, but it's something. We do have the super secret aligned Hedron network tech hanging out in the deck right now, so that's kind of neat. If we Emry back the Mox, we have a Whir for 2 available. For the Nykthos is, yeah, just mana even. Oh, of course, Nissa. Well, Nissa's not going to get rid of our Stonecoil or Emry, but she is a problem, and we don't have any Pithing Needles left. Because, of course, as soon as we start Game 2, I would run into something that I didn't see in Game 1. And wasn't expecting at all. Okay, so Mox Amber can act as a ritual here, but it's not super useful. Then the Mox Amber can pop out the Hope of Ghirapur. And looking at what we brought in, nothing's going to be super useful here. We can whir out the Shadowspear at end of turn, which might give us a little bit of play. We can also block with the Stonecoil Serpent in order to get it into the graveyard where we can recast it larger. So that is an option. Definitely not looking great here, though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to add 1. It's going to add 4. Oh, jeez. Oh. Not looking great here. So, lesson learned. Keep at least 1 Pithing Needle in. So putting both counters... Oh, no, they're fighting. Okay. I have no way to prevent that, so that's going to happen. Which means my Mox Amber is now off. I should have gone for the Shadowspear in response, and now I don't have the blue mana. All right. It's not my first time playing with Mox Amber, but I sure as heck am acting like it is. Oof. Yeah, just ran into a deck that's playing all sorts of good cards that are just beating up on us right now. And they even have Gilded Goose that can block our Hope of Ghirapur if I had actually correctly. Good gravy. All right, so that's just basically another removal spell if they want, which I'm assuming it will be, and then we're gonna scoop on out of here. Yeah, we just got eaten alive on this one. All right, good beats. Let's move on. And unfortunately, because of the way that Nissa, Who Shakes the World works, our aligned Hedron network was not going to do any work there. The creatures are not big enough. So saw a mix of stuff from game 1 and 2 against a blue-green devotion deck, question mark. I didn't see a single blue card. They were probably stubborn denials, but since we didn't play any non-creature spells through either game, they didn't have the opportunity to use them. Won the die roll again, super duper. This is probably the best hand we've drawn, so I'm going to keep this one. Turn 1 Stonecoil for 1 means Emry comes down for 1 mana on turn 2. It's not particularly enticing, but Golden Egg is some nice synergy with Emry. I can see that. Okay. Opponent on a mold of 5. Woof. I've been there, friend. Okay, so we're going to go Darksteel Citadel into Stonecoil. Shock on a steam vents. Interesting. Bomb it, Courier. You coming bombing in? No, they're not. Is this the blue-red like aggro wizards deck? Oh, they're bombing in. All right, I'm going to block. The Stonecoil Serpent heavy portfolio comes out on top. We're going to go Emry here. If there's another Bomat Courier, then we'll be able to block it. Probably should have gone Stonecoil here because they're playing blue-red. They have burn to just blow out my, just pop my Emry. Okay, so it's like blue. Oh, it's probably the Scissors deck, but with Bomat Courier. I don't think they normally run that. Maybe they do. It's been a while since I've played against them, like a bunch. Spire for a colorless and a red or a blue. Stonecoil for 2, sure. Okay, so can use Emry to bring back Witch's Oven, which I guess gives me some insulation against them killing my Emry. Starts upping my artifact count. Then I'll also be able to play Golden Egg or Stonecoil Serpent. There's nothing I can bring back in my yard for less. If they have Ensoul, bringing back a Stonecoil Serpent's not particularly good here, but bringing back Hangarback Walker is pretty good. Problem is I don't have anything else to do with my other mana. You can go Golden Egg, Witch's Oven, or Stonecoil for 1 as a chump blocker. I think that's probably the decent play. So we're going to Golden Egg first, because this is going to draw us a card. Maybe gives us some extra information. Cool. So we are going to have a land for next turn. Can sack the Golden Egg to get it into the bin for next turn, but I can always do that next turn. So Witch's Oven or Stonecoil chump blocker. I'm going to get the Stonecoil as a chump blocker. Don't feel like getting hit with a pair of scissors this turn, at least without them having to burn something to get through for it. Skin Soul? Looks like it probably is. Yep. All right. So we've got a 7/7, but we've got a fairly infinite number of chump blockers as long as Emry is alive. Oh, we don't have chump. This has trample. All right. Hold on. I'm bad. Don't worry about me. So I'll take my hit for 7 here. Okay, well, that's something. So we can play Sparring Construct, get our Hangarback Walker, or Witch's Oven. And Golden Egg is still a piece of food, which we can sack for life or mana. Sparring Construct is definitely something I'm interested in playing this turn. And then Emry's got to get this Hangarback out, because I think that's going to be how this is our best chance to sort of getting anywhere in this game. I've got 1 mana left. I can play the Stonecoil or I can play Emry and try to flip more useful cards into the graveyard. We're just on such a quick clock from the 7/7 trample that it's just going to make it quite difficult. Might be worth considering a splash into white for Glass Casket as a tutorable / Emry-able piece of interaction. Just speculating for the future. Shadowspear, sure. Creature already has trample, so it's not actually particularly good here. Yeah. It's going to give it lifelink, but we're not really racing anytime soon, so I'm going to block a single point with Sparring Construct. This is going to put another counter on my Hangarback Walker. So I'm taking 7, going to 6. We're just outside of Shrapnel Blast range. Another island. Probably not playing the Tezzeret this turn, but I think what we're going to do is we want to leave 1 up for Hangarback. So we'll get the Sparring Construct. And I can play Stonecoil for 3 and still be able to crank. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against their 8/8. So hopefully they don't have the shrapnel to just blow us out on the block. Brazen Borrower definitely going to come in this matchup. Hope of Ghirapur, sure. We're going to have a lot of Thopterist next turn if they attack, so. Emry, sure. Okay, so no Shrap. So it looks like we have made it through the death. They've got Bomat Courier they can bring back next turn, which is not too scary. Would you like to sort of wipe my board? Yeah, that's smart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. Yeah, and then I've got the Hangarback to crank. So block. They get to decide blocking order. Yeah. Doesn't matter since they're going to kill everything anyway, but. Oh, Sparring Construct can actually put the counter on Emry. Good to know. That makes sense. It was in Dominaria, which was not a artifact exclusive set. Okay, so Sparring Construct puts the counter there, and Hangarback gives us some Thopters, which are going to keep us alive. No thanks to the plane, many of us are still alive. Alright, Stonecoil has reach, so that's kind of nuts. So I'm going to get the Stonecoil I need it to be at least a 3/3. They're going to be able to play a big Stonecoil on their turn, but that's okay. Yeah, and then I'll be able to sack the egg for life. Stonecoil for 3. I'm making Stonecoil on 3 so that Hope of Ghirapur equipped with Shadowspear can't get through. I'm going to attack with 2 Thopters. They could bring back a Bowmat Courier here. And then we could still activate our Golden Egg this turn. Next turn we'll be able to put in a Construct at a pretty reasonable size and also replay something that costs either 1, so Witch's Oven or Sparring Construct. Most likely Witch's Oven. Actually, their Stonecoil was so large because of Ensoul, so if they play a Stonecoil out of their graveyard here, Skilled Animator. Yeah, that's a good play. It's going to make their Hope of Ghirapur into a 5/5. Yeah. Chump block with the Thopter here. But next turn, the Shadowspear is going to be able to equip, so we got to think about how we get around that. Okay, another land is not bad. I do have another Stonecoil, which I could just put in as a 6/6. It's probably the best solution. They spend 2 mana equipping the Hope, and they can't get through with it, so I'm just going to do that. Seems like a reasonable way to deal with the situation. So here's my 6/6 Stonecoil Roar. And Kraken for 3 with my Stonecoil Serpent on the ground. I'm going to leave both the Thopters back just in case. They can still pop out a hasty Bowmat Courier. Shrapnel Blast can't get the Stonecoil out of the way. Worth noting, I guess. Though if they have an Ensoul here, yeah, that's pretty good. 5/5 Indestructible. Actually, it's not that good right now. Just swings into my Stonecoil and bounces, and then my Thopter can chump block the Hope. Yep. Attack with the Hope. No attacks. Cool. Bought us some time. So I can use Karn to set up a large Construct. Also play Tezzeret and just start drawing a mess of cards. Whir certainly wouldn't hurt. I think I'm going to play Tezzeret out and draw 2. Yeah. Land is not bad. Second Karn is not the best, but... And then what I would like to play this turn? Probably Hangarback, get it going again. Or Witch's Oven. Yeah, let's get the Hangarback Walker. Cool. We're good to pass here. The board stall is certainly favoring us. Vile Feelings, oof. Oh, it's Brian. I would go with the Oven. Well, I didn't when you suggested it, whenever that was. Sorry, Brian, I did not realize that you were in the chat there. I've been consumed by this sweet battle that's going on in on the battlefield. We got crushed by green-blue. It was basically mono-green Devotion featuring blue for question mark in round 1, but round 2 is going really well. Yeah, their Darksteel Citadel is indestructible, so that's going to be the end of a problem. kind of tempted to just take the hit here, but I really don't want to do it against a Shrapnel Blast deck, so gonna block. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one, but we're doing okay. We've got Tezzeret set up. The Karn Construct that's going to get popped out next turn is going to be quite large. More mana, cool. Draw a Lotus Petal, love it. Okay, so we're going to play Karn first. Could always, instead, you know what's better than Karn? Double Karn. So make a Karn Construct. Oh, they scooped. Interesting. They lost their connection to the game? Oh, they just fully disconnected. Huh. Well, they did not want to fight our Karn. It's a darn shame Karn hasn't gotten to shine yet. Yeah, we were definitely a lot bigger than that deck. The blue-green deck in the first round was just really rough. Game 1, they jammed 2 Voracious Hydras. It was like a 4-5 and then a 7-8. And then in Game 2, they had Nissa into Vivian, and I'd cut the Pithing Needles because I didn't think they were particularly good against that deck. Boy, was I wrong. Okay, so we are on the play. 1 land. There's reasonable artifacts here, but really don't want to get kicked in the lands. This is almost as bad, but this is keepable on the back of turn 2 Emry. I'm gonna throw this Tezzeret and hope we can get there. Emry is gonna give us access to this Mox Amber, so yeah. You'll be able to go back and watch it on YouTube when I have that uploaded by tomorrow morning. And our opponent kept their 7. Okay. So Stonecoil on 1. Not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes you got to do it. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your walker. Wait, no, hold on. If we draw a land, we'll have a neat little sequence because we'll be able to also get Hangarback or Golden Egg into play. Nice. Cool. So, Island. Want the Mox Amber in play. They can't actually Fatal Push Emry here, so not worried about that so much. Though I think... So in the face of their Fatal Push, I am going to play the Hangarback out on 1. Okay. And we flipped another Mox Amber, so we kind of have access to Lotus Petal with Emry here. So this is kind of neat. This feels a lot like a modern Emry deck start. We're just down to like no cards in hand. If we're against Inverter, I have some concerns. Yeah, it looks like we might be. The nice thing is, at least, that they can't Fatal Push my Emry, so... Gonna be able to start accruing some value here. So we can play Golden Egg, sack it for 1 mana, replay Golden Egg. Yeah. Won't be able to crank the Hangarback this turn. Don't know how relevant that's going to be against this deck. Well, let's play the Golden Egg first and see what I draw. Sigh. Would have been nice to play Sigh this turn, but be able to do it next turn. They don't normally play a lot of Wrath. Could play Sigh this turn by using my Mox Amber as a Lotus Petal. I don't know if that's worth doing. I think I'm just going to attack for 2 with Stonecoil and Emry. And then crank the Hangarback Walker. Yeah, I know I can Mox Amber. But it's just one of those situations of then I won't be able to crank the Hangarback Walker, and I think there's a very, very good chance that in their main deck that a large Hangarback Walker is a problem for them. Sometimes they have things like Languish, but Thoughtseize. Yeah, a little unfortunate, but it's fine. Eats up some of their mana for this turn, so. And takes their life total down, which. Okay. You gonna respond with a Fatal Push here? No, cool. Do I want this golden egg in my graveyard right now? It basically costs 0 to put it there, so that's fine. We have a second Hangarback. Cool. I'm gonna crack this golden egg for mana. Blue. And then replay it with Emry. This is one of the neat things I did not realize in this deck, but it's really, really sweet. So this gives us a sort of facsimile of the Mishra's Bauble / Spellbomb interactions in Modern. If I attack for 1 with my Stonecoil, still be able to crank the Hangarback up to a 3/3, and they'll be at 12. So if they kill one of my creatures, I'll still have them on just a couple turn clock. So if there's a Languish this turn, we're going to pop out 3 Thopters and then have them on a 4-turn clock, which is not super quick, but could be enough to get us there. Mystic Sanctuary, I think, would be really, really like sort of what we're looking for in this game. Inverter's gonna suck, because that probably means they're just gonna win the game next turn. So if we can get a Pithing Needle on Jace, that can sort of protect us. For future reference, I think Ipnu Rivulet might be worth running in the mana base, especially if you stay mono blue, because then you have a way to play against the inverter decks by just getting them sometimes. If we mill out their cards right now, they would lose the game for not being able to draw. So that's a possibly worthwhile addition to the mana base. Ooh, well, I drew that Pithing Needle I was talking about. So if they're counting on Thassa's Oracle to win, they may have lost that as if they're counting on Jace to win, I'm turning that off. Thassa's Oracle obviously still gets us here. Can't get through that inverter, but I can play another Hangarback Walker and then use this Mox Amber to crank the first one. So playing out optimally in the face of death. You want to teach yourself to make the correct plays, even when you think it's not going to matter. Yeah, they got it. Cool. Luckily, my good man Brian packed for this matchup. So we got Mystical Dispute, and Brazen Borrower seems like it could be okay. Probably not great. Definitely leaving in 1 Pithing Needle, which means I'll probably leave in both. Hope of Ghirapur. It's kind of tricky. Being able to recur it over and over again could be very good here. Witch's Oven, not so much. Soul Guide Lantern is another one that could have been... Oh, if we had drawn a Whir, we could have Soul Guided away their graveyard and killed them. So that's worth noting. I think I would have seen it when I was worrying, but I didn't say it, so let's say it for posterity. Alright, so we want the Mystical Dispute, Witch's Oven going out. Wasn't Devotion to only 2, they had 5 cards in library. Was that a fact? I thought they had 3 cards in library, and then they drew a card on their upkeep, or on their draw step, and then I think they were down to 2. I may have been incorrect. Yeah, I might have scooped wrong there. Interesting. I just assumed they had it, but I could have been incorrect. Okay. That is the kind of things that happen to me sometimes. Maybe you were looking at the wrong thing. Maybe. Yeah, I think that was their hand. Their hand was definitely 5 before they started that turn. I think their hand was 5 and their library was 2. I like the idea of Hope of Ghirapur because I don't think they have any creature-based removal. Then everything else seems pretty alright, so maybe we're just going to cut like a Sai and a Tezzeret, something like that. No, because Sai actually seems like it get them dead reasonably quickly. But the Tezzerets are expensive, and I'm not really... I think I just need to get under them this game, so that's the board plan I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with we're going to try to get under them with this setup. Yeah, let's try this way. Yeah. It's fine. The Moto interface is not the most legible thing I've ever seen. All right, we're gonna keep this. It's not a great hand, but can easily improve. Got a nice artifact curve, that's for sure. Opponent on the mulligan to 6. Yes. Ah, but only the mulligan to 6. Well, I guess can't be too greedy with that there. I mean, it can be, but not appropriate. Tapped Watery Grave, sure. All right, Darksteel Citadel, another land, not the worst draw. Okay. So, got the slight tension of I want the Hangarback to survive. So Stonecoil is what I'm tempted to play out first, but I'm going to jam the Hangarback here because once we start being able to crank it, it's great. So we'll see what they've got here. Probably just push Thought Erasure. That is fine. My hand is not great. Okay. So I just want to play cards they know about, but that's actually all I can do is play cards they know about because we drew a redundant Darksteel Citadel. Alright, we're going to start cranking this hangery boy. More Thought Erasures. Yeah, well, I guess I'll lose my only other spell. Aha, they stumbled on lands, though. That's something. Given some of the draws that this deck has presented me with, I'm gonna take this. Emry, mill ourselves. Cool. I'm interested in cranking the Hangarback Walker at least one more time. Third land, sure. Ashiok? Narset. Okay, we can just kill that. Yeah, they're going to get to draw a card of their choice. Thought Erasure. Sure. Not a problem here. So they know the last... Oh, I missed my crank. Oh well. They know about the Citadel. I'd have a Mystical Dispute for them. Alright. So our Hangarback Walker is one smaller than it should be. Gonna attack down the Narset. Use Emry to probably play the other Hangarback. Could always play a 5/5 Stonecoil, and then they're gonna Thought Erasure and take my Mystical Dispute, but play a 2/2 Hangarback Walker actually, and still have Mystical Dispute up. Oh yeah, Hope of Ghirapur Loch. Yeah. That's actually I'd kind of forgotten that we had that set up there, but that is actually a really decent thing to do against that deck. Until they draw a fourth land, they won't be able to play an inverter to stop us. So we definitely have a card in hand that they don't know about, so they're somewhat incentivized to do that. I'm going to counter it here because then it denies them the surveil. No surveillance for you. Yeah, I think we just start Hope blocking them here, and then attacking for 5, 4, no 5 with the Hope. Cool. So attack with everything but Emry. There we go. So this says until your next turn. Cool. So sacrifice, target them. Cool. And use Emry to replay it. They're not going to be able to play a discard spell anyway, so holding this land in my hand has no value. Plus, if playing it out means I can activate Castle Vantress. So if they have an inverter to play here, okay, Thassa's Oracle as a blocker. That is, it's fine. I will take that. So this turn we're going to attack them with Hope and crank both our Hangarback Walkers. That means they are then large enough to get through the Oracle. Yeah, we're going to be casting an artifact every turn, so Sai coming in here is great. And we have just the right amount of mana, which is just super. Just super duper. Fatal Push, you jerkwad. Alright, so that's going to resolve. That's fine. So hopefully we don't get wrathed. Although even if we do, we get to put an awful lot of Thopterist into play, so... Okay, there's the mana. Okay, they're going to invert, so they've got a 6-card library here. So I don't think that they can immediately win. Okay. Island. Well, we've got Stonecoil, Pithing Needle in our yard, so we can play a quite large Stonecoil. So I think we're just going to attack with everything here. They're pretty priced into blocking Hope of Ghirapur. When I say everything, I mean we're not going to attack with Sai. We're not going to attack with Emry. So they can only kill one creature here, and they can also lose their Thassa's Oracle to block a Hangarback to prevent some of the damage. So we'll see what goes down here. There's a good chance that our turn is just going to be playing out a 7/7 Stonecoil. Maybe the Hope. Sure. I think Stonecoil is our best bet. They can't win the game with Jace unless they have like land and opt as well. So I'm going to try just playing an enormous Stonecoil and see if we can't win the game that way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's my 7/7. It comes with a free Thopter. It's made with potassium benzoate. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is. Sure. Another inverter. I think you die. Maybe. So now their library is a single card. And that one card is Thassa's Oracle. So I need to end the game this turn, which means 10 out of 10 attacking with everything, because my Pithing Needle doesn't do enough. Cool. I don't think this is actually going to kill them. I don't know. You do the math, nerd. I don't care. Oh, we could also... Yeah, we won. Okay, cool. So the Stonecoil tramples for 1. and then they block one of the 3/3s, and they take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so cool. Any changes I want to make post board? Yeah, probably need more Hope of Ghirapurs. That seems really good, and Sparring Construct can pop out. So that's worth looking at. Align Hedron Network is something that there's like, I don't think it's good here, but it could be. Question is it better than Mystic Forge? It almost definitely is. I don't know if we're ever going to win that kind of game against them. Evasive beats, yeah. Yeah, the Brazen Borrower, there's also the fact that Brazen Borrower can bounce things like Jace in response to them trying to draw with it. It's just a generally good beater, yeah. It's probably better than... It's better than the Hedron Network. Better than maybe one Stonecoil and one Pithing Needle. One Pithing Needle should be fine because it's not even that good in most situations. Down a bit on artifact count. Maybe actually we cut aside, bring back in the Stonecoil. That seems okay. Side did good work. Side does do good work. I think the most important thing to note about this entire match is we're way up on the karma game. I said, hey there, good luck and have fun, and my opponent has responded with nothing. So consider cutting a Whir if you're low on targets. Yeah, the thing is the Whir targets are so important that I want, like, they don't know I have Soul Guide Lantern, so there's definitely a situation where I Whir for Soul Guide Lantern in response to them doing something and they just get wrecked. Or they put Jace on the stack and I Whir for Pithing Needle. This is a really rough hand. I think I have to mulligan this. They start with 7 cards. They're Thoughtseize deck, though. But this is so bad that, yeah, I want a land heavier hand. Like that one. Like this. Right here. This is the hand I want. Thank you, deck. Thank you. Okay. Watery Grave, sure. Play Hope of Ghirapur. Sure, Brian knows this, but for anyone curious, Mox Amber does not produce any mana with Hope of Ghirapur. It should. I wish they had templated it that way, but Hangarback. Or Karn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you actually may want to consider playing less Mox Ambers in this deck. All right, I'm going to play Stonecoil here. Just... Okay. Probably just should have sent out the Hangarback again. No. Okay, cool. Good choice. Good choice. Good-ish choice. Not a lot of good choices remain. It's going to be Narset or Ashiok? Nope. Perfectly timed Thoughtseize. The opponent knows what matters. Playing their disruption at the right timing is very important. Second Mystical Dispute ain't not bad. Kraken in for 1. So the nice thing about the double Mystical Dispute, even one Mystical Dispute at this point, is even though they know about at least one of them, they cannot just jam Inverter here. And have Cycle Fetid Pool, sure. So they can't just jam an Inverter down our throat here. Or if they do, it'll be less than effective. Okay, I'm going to dispute this because they know about the dispute. It denies them the Surveil, and they don't know about the second dispute. So it is possible they're going to play something here that a second dispute will be reasonable against. I don't know if I want to counter that. It doesn't block anything. I think I'm letting that go. It doesn't draw them a card, so it really, on this board, it's just a 1/3 wall. Yeah, we're letting it land. Yeah. I'm just talking it out for posterity. Anyone's trying to learn the Pioneer format, they should learn elsewhere because I'm not good. But if you're interested in watching me play for whatever reason, all right. I don't love playing a 2/2 Stonecoil Serpent here, and I don't want to tap down, so I'm just gonna hold on for a moment. Yeah, if it's in the graveyard, no. Yeah, I completely agree with that too. That is definitely worth pointing out. Yeah, countering the Thassa's Oracle would be actively bad there, because then if they play an Inverter on the next turn, then their library has a Thassa's Oracle in it. Kalitas, Trader of Get. Yeah, that's gotta go. Okay, deck has lots of good draws. Let's try to pick one up. Second Hope of Ghirapur. Well, I guess I'm playing a 3/3 Stonecoil this turn. Another Thassa's Oracle. So this one's Scry 4, quote unquote. It's not actually Scry, but so this is successfully gummed up the ground. So I'm not getting through on the ground for anything, but I'll just keep poking at them in the air. With the way this game has gone, I'm going to assume their hand is like 2 pieces of counter magic, most likely, or maybe an Inverter that they are not willing to play yet because they're the situation post Inverter wouldn't be that good for them. Jace. Yep. That's pretty rough for us. So now they're just drawing 2 cards per turn. Alright, we got to get a little more aggro here, I think. So we're going to have to start attacking into these Thassa's Oracle. I've already talked about why it's a bad idea, but at this point in the game, I kind of have to start getting something going. So we're going to attack with both of these. They'll be able to block with Thassa's Oracle, but they've milled themselves, so their library post-Inverter will be bigger now. Yep, double block, sure. I'll kill one of them. And then we play a 4/4 Stonecoil. So we're in a rough spot here, but if we grab a Whir for Pithing Needle for Jace, we're in an okay spot. So hopefully we can draw something relevant. With the number of cards that actually turn on the Mox Ambers in this deck, I don't know that we want to be playing 4 copies. I like 1. I feel like the right number of Mox Amber to play is 1 or 4. Holy crap, we won. I mean, I'll take it. I don't really understand what happened there. I'm going to take 2 seconds to hit the washroom. Don't go anywhere. And then we're going to do 2 more matches with this deck that gets weird little miracle wins. Maybe they didn't have a way to win anymore. I don't know. Alrighty then, moving on to match number 4 with Scion of Urza and Pioneer. So, was able to beat blue-black inverter there for goodness knows what reason. But deck definitely puts down a bit of an aggro play, so it can get under them, I guess. Winning die rolls, by the way, is one of the best skillful ways to win Magic. Okay, we're going to keep this one. It's a bit slow, but in the dark, it is completely reasonable. Yeah, so again, Brian, one of the things when I was thinking about and playing all the different Urza decks with Mox Amber, I feel like it's a card where you really want to play either 1 or 4. And you need your legend count to be, like, if you're playing 4, it means you have quite a high legend count and you're kind of, like, leaning into it being mana. Meanwhile, if you're playing 1, it means you're probably playing, like, a general artifact synergy, where in a lot of games, you're kind of okay with it being, like, Darksteel Relic. It's just a 0 mana, nothing. Oh, looks like we hit the inverter again. So this format is super diverse and interesting right now, with everyone playing a combination of Inverter, Sultai Delirium, Mono Red Burn. It's actually, I'm just joking. It is actually quite diverse right now. Okay, probably telegraphing that they have a Fatal Push in hand right now. They don't know we drew Sparring Construct though, so next turn we'll be able to play Construct Emry, even if they kill the Hangarback and the token. Botanical side. Okay, so this is probably Sultai Delirium. Yeah. I'll also be able to crank my Hangarback, so that's what we're going to plan on doing. Definitely a dead card most of the time. I think when we finish up here with the matches, I'm just going to do a quick Scryfall search for both lands we could be playing, like utility lands, like Imni Roulette, and then other cheap-ish artifacts in the format. I know there's not that many, but I feel like there's maybe some options that are worth trying out, because you definitely have room for some more interesting things. Abrupt Decay on the Emry is okay. Hangarback's still going to hang out and be a 3-man onesie. Guess I should have cranked in response to the Abrupt Decay, because I'm not worried about whether they're going to play on this turn, because this opens me up to having it removed in response like that. Yeah, so that was a mistake. Should have cranked when the Abrupt Decay came down. Deck providing us with the greatest of draws. Island. Although if we pick up Tezzeret, Artifice Master, we're going to be in decent shape. So Tezzeret, Artifice Master, or Karn off the top are the things we're looking for here. We have six powerful planeswalkers to draw at this point. It's a Courser. Tireless Tracker, maybe? No, it would be Tracker post land. And it shouldn't be Courser either. Was it Uro? Yeah, Uro. Okay. Whir for Soul Guide Lantern, looking appealing all of a sudden. Oh, they also maybe have Jace? No. Okay. Hey, look, we drew the thing I was talking about. Cool. So, against their deck full of Fatal Pushes and Abrupt Decays, it's gonna feel a little bad if I just make a Construct and get it pushed. We've been drawing enough lands that I'm just gonna +1 Karn right now. Hopefully we do not flip land plus... Yeah, of course we did. Okay, but I can minus and get an Emry next turn, or make a 3/3 Construct. Yeah. My first instinct was to make the Construct, but the problem with it was going to be they just have a pile of Abrupt Decays and Fatal Push. Although they've fired off both. Yeah, should have made the Construct. 10 out of 10. That's okay. Live and learn. Whir is an okay draw here. So what does that get us in the main deck? Once again, it gets us Shadowspear, Pithing Needle, Hope, Soul Guide Lantern, Sparring Contract, Witch's Oven, and Golden Egg. Oh, Mystic Forge. Mystic Forge is probably what we want here. 1. So we're on 6. So plus one of our creatures gets us Mystic Forge here. Doot. Top of our library is Island, so we're going to use this to exile that. Witch's Oven, which I can't cast right now. Little unfortunate, but next turn we should be able to go off at least a little bit. So let's see if we can outgrind Sultai Delirium. They're not currently able to escape their Uro yet, so we have a little bit of time, hopefully. Liliana, the Last Hope. They plus it to kill my Thopter, sure. Tap land. Okay, so we're going to Hangarback on top, so let's play Island. Because they have Liliana, this gives -2, -1, so I'm going to play the Hangarback for 2. So that Liliana can't immediately kill it. And there's a Karn on top. 1 mana short of casting. Sparring Construct's just going to attack them right now. Attacking Liliana doesn't have any value right now. Knocking her from 4 to 3. She can still activate all of her abilities, so that's okay. She's not likely to kill Sparring Construct, and she cannot kill Hangarback on her own right now. So, looking like we might be able to bury them here. Now we also have Witch's Oven, so we can sacrifice the Sparring Construct or Hangarback Walker at instant speed. I could have activated the Mystic Forge to exile the Karn and maybe try to keep playing things this turn, but I don't think that's as good as having a Karn on top of my deck. It's going to be Nissa, who shakes the world. Yeah, that's fine. And Tireless Tracker? No, oh, the Murder Shredder. Yeah, sure. Yeah, gonna shrink my Hangarback Walker. Not really a big deal. It still has the same number of counters, so. If they want to attack me for 3, that's fine. I'm at 19. My life total's not a big deal right now. Just take that. Cool. Draw this Karn. Cool. Hey, look, a Pithing Needle. So, out of their 2 Planeswalkers that exist right now, the more dangerous one is probably Nissa. So we're going to play this Pithing Needle on Nissa, who shakes the world. Cool. We can still play the Karn, so let's play this Sparring Construct off the top. Darksteel Citadel we can't play. I'm going to exile it with Mystic Forge. And now we're stuck. So I'm going to play the Karn, going to make a Construct. Still have 1 mana left to crank my Hangarback Walker. Cool. And I'm not incentivized right now to attack with Sparring Construct because they have this token. Since I'm probably also not blocking with this Hangarback Walker, I'm just going to crank it right now rather than letting them counterplay me. Don't forget you can pull Emry from exile next turn. I can. Good to point out. I'm pretty sure I'm building just another Construct, but that's worth pointing out. The silver counter from the original Karn is still here. Yep. So. Alright, what do you got? It's a lot of mana. Is this Emrakul? Man, that would be bad. Yeah. Okay, so there's an Emrakul. I don't think this can be particularly destructive. It's going to kill my Construct. Sure. I should have gotten a food there. Okay. Misplays. So they're going to be able to attack my Construct into Emrakul. And they'll be able to sack something to Witch's Oven, but sacking Hangarback to Witch's Oven is like really not the worst thing that could happen. So let's see what they do here. If they're smart here, they'll use Mystic Forge to exile the Tezzeret. they do. Emry on top of my deck. Nothing they can do with that. So they sack Hangarback to Witch's Oven. That's going to make me 2 food. So our construct's an 11/11. It's actually almost big enough to kill Emrakul, but it's not. Then they attack with Construct and Sparring Construct. And then the Sparring Construct's going to put a counter on one of my Thopters. This is a mandatory trigger. They do get to gain 2 life while blocking with the Murder Spider, unfortunately. Are they going to sack my foods? I guess they could. They're not. Cool. So now it's my turn properly. I'm going to play Emry anyway, so before I Mystic Forge, let's cast... Actually, no. We're going to activate Mystic Forge first. Since I'm not able to activate Emry this turn, let's see what's on top. We're looking for Shadowspear pretty soon, if we can get it. Opponent is reluctant to allow my Mystic Forge to resolve. Cool. So Stonecoil on top. That's like almost something that's relevant right now. So we're gonna make a Karn construct. Cool. Got 8 mana. I want to play the Emry. So we can set up in such a way that if they attack with Emrakul, we kill them. It's a second Pithing Needle on top. That's kind of great. Oh, I just played Emry and milled the Stonecoil. No, that's all right. Pithing Needle comes out. We're going to name Liliana. So that's kind of great. The Last Hope. Cool. Whoops. And then... got the food. We've got even more food if we need it. So Emrakul can't kill us. And then did we mill the Shadowspear? It doesn't look like we did. We didn't yet. Okay, cool. So there's a good number of live draws in the deck right now. We're not doing anything this turn, but next turn could be fairly devastating. So we'll see what's up. What's going on. We've milled over 2 Whirs, though. Got both of their planeswalkers shut down. Satyr Wayfinder is going to give them the ability to awaken escape, which is going to be pretty good for them. I think it's going to be worth... oh boy. Traverse. All right. They had a Traverse in hand. Well, they already Emrakul, so I think this could be Hangarback, or not Hangarback, a Walking Ballista, yeah. It's only coming out for... oh no, hold on. 1, 2, 3. I think it's going to come down for 3. Sure. So I can just food token here. So now they can Hangarback or Walking Ballista for 3. If they start shooting me with it, I can crack my other food. Can also make an extra food or 2 food with Witch's Oven. Oh, they had the island. Right. It's okay. So this is Walking Ballista for 4. Yeah. Gonna kill Emry, sure. Next time they go to ping it, I'm gonna Witch's Oven that. They're gonna ping my Karn. Yeah, I guess that's smart. We're gonna stop on our upkeep because I want to exile the Darksteel Citadel with Mystic Forge. Drawing that card is not useful, so I'd like to draw the next card instead. Cool. We're gonna draw Stonecoil, and then now it's a main phase. We've got Inventors Fair on top, but depending on how that worked out, that could have been that could have gone into the Shadowspear. So I don't have any way to get to the Shadowspear. So I think we're just dead to another swing from Emrakul, and we can't get to Shadowspear, unfortunately. Yeah. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and attack. Probably just block with Murderous Rider. They can also crank their Walking Ballista by a lot next turn, so just can't get through. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to game 2. I don't think we can get through that. Close game. Really felt like we were kind of on the edge a lot of that, but they just drew a lot of haymakers. Their deck is full of real good threats, and they just popped out a lot of them. Okay, so the second Shadowspear seems pretty good here. Tormod's Crypt could be okay. So I'm going to cut a Mox Amber for that. And maybe a Sparring Construct, perhaps? Let's see. Most of our deck is reasonably well set up against them because they really like to grind out the game. I wonder if Saheeli to go really wide would be worthwhile here. And just keep the size as well. So I don't know if Mystical Dispute or Brazen Borrower is really worth having here. A line Hedron network could get their Emrakul off the table. I mean, it's not, if the Emrakul's already resolved, that's not the situation we really want to be in, but Hope is not so great, so they just have a lot of ways out of a Hope lock. Oh, Damping Sphere is definitely a good one of, because if they get their Nissa who shakes the world out, this really messes with their mana. I think this will be okay. We generally seem decently well set up in this matchup. We just need the game to break a little bit better in our favor. Got 4 whole viewers out there. Thank you, Twitch Universe, for supplying wonderful humans who are checking this out. We're going to keep this. It's a reasonable number of lands and spells. They're not the best spells, but they're what we've got. I'm going to play out the Soul Guide Lantern on turn 1 for, quote, no value. We can recur this with Emry later on. We can sack it to draw a card if we need to cycle. And we can also just keep ground for a little while and blow out their graveyard if and when we need to. Turn 2 Damping Sphere is not really all that impressive here, but it is going to let our turn 3 Whir go for 2, which, again, not super impressive, but it's what we've got. Alright, Soul Guide Lantern in attack mode. The Aggro Guide Lantern. This is my Goblin Guide right here. This is the only Goblin Guide I ever want to play. Tormod's Crypt. Well, I think our deck has decided to supply us kind of heavy on one specific type of interaction here. Does mean we can whir for 3 this turn if we want to. It's not super relevant, but that's a better draw. Play Castle Vantress, play Hangarback on 1. Damping Sphere is also going to mess with their ability to double or triple spell on some turns. That's definitely something the Delirium deck can do, especially with Traverse the Ulvenwald and Delirium. Unmoored Ego. Yeah? What are you, we're getting egoed. Yeah, I think they're getting, oh, Emry. Sure, I guess that makes sense. Emry's a pretty good engine. Top deck, the Karn we can't play right now. Well, I could put Tormod's Crypt in and then Whir for the Mystic Forge. I think I'm going to do that. This turn it doesn't do much, but it does improve the quality of my draw, which is reasonable right now. Oh, I have cast a spell this turn, right. So we're going to pass the turn to them. It's cool, we can Whir at instant speed and then... if that's how they're boarding, you're doing pretty well. Yeah, not... Maybe? Courser, okay. They did flip the land. There's a Scooz on top of their deck. That's probably going to get needled. Okay, we're at the end of their turn. There's an island on top. I actually do want to draw that right now. So draw the island. There's an island on top. I'm going to exile the island on top right now and see what's next. There's a good chance. Okay, so we're going to play Pithing Needle on Scavenging Ooze. Okay. I'm going to play a second Hangarback Walker and leave up the one to crank the first Hangarback Walker. Oh, no, hold on. I've played a spell this turn. So, Damping Sphere is actually screwing me up a little bit. I think we'll just play out the second Hangarback anyway. It's equivalent to cranking my first one, and there's a Shadowspear on top. Okay, that's pretty nice to know right now. So, oh, how's it going, Roy? This list is from this friend here, whose name is Brian, and he's on the Faithless Brewing Discord. And we are in match number 5. Yeah, I wanted to try streaming a little earlier today, and so after this I'm going to take a really quick break. It's been pretty interesting so far. We've had some very weird wins, some devastatingly quick losses. I think the major takeaway that I have is that this deck should probably be splashing into white if you want to play it more, I want to say interesting, if you want a more interesting deck. If you go black, I think the deck would get a lot more, I don't know, homogenous. It would just be playing like Thoughtseizes, and you can't play any of the good Tezzerets, I don't think. So black or white would definitely be a really good splash color for this deck. White gives you access to Glass Casket and a bunch of other reasonable things. Opponent went nuts over there with Burrow, which is a tad unfortunate. They were able to draw the Thoughtseize and take away my Karn, so maybe Mystic Forge is going to give us a second card, perhaps, mayhaps. Nope. So Darksteel Citadel on top is okay. We can play Shadowspear and crank both my Hangarback Walkers this turn. I think that might be the plan. So equipping Shadowspear and then swinging for 2 is not super great. Cranking both Hangarbacks seems reasonable. They have the mana to cast Uro right now, but they do not have enough cards, so limiting their ability to escape it right now is not good. If they play another card that's going to allow them to put more cards in their graveyard, then we're going to want to... That's a Witch's Vengeance on top of their deck. Wow. All right. Witch's Vengeance on Construct engaged. Master of the Bridge. Is that the 6-drop? Oh yeah, Dovin Grand Architect could be alright. Master of the Bridge is a 6-drop. Master of the Bridge is kind of atrocious. Like, it's a 6-drop. I don't think you could play it. I don't think it's a constructed playable card, but... Scoos! Yes, I have needled this Scoos, so... Enjoy your bear. Cool. So we're going to crank both our Hangarbacks. I'm actually okay with drawing this Darksteel Citadel. I've been a little choked on mana, so I don't mind going up here. Okay. Play the Citadel. We're going to exile the top card of my library. See if we can't get something going here. Another island on top. Womp womp. Alright. They're going to Witch's Vengeance us, but we'll just crank both our Hangarback Walkers in response to it. So... Unless there's some really weird line that I'm not seeing. We're going to have a bunch of Thopters. Like I think like we're kind of pushing the envelope of constructed playable cards already with Tezzeret Artifice Master, but Master of the Bridge is just on a whole different level of bad. Okay, so Witch's Vengeance, they're going to choose Construct. They could choose Ooze. They could choose Centaur. They could choose Reflection. They did not. Do I want to upkeep? Yeah, I want to upkeep Mystic Forge this off the top of my deck. Okay, we're going to hit for 4 here, but they're down to 1 card in hand. The Traverse is not going to have Delirium, and we've got a Shadowspear to race them. So actually in pretty okay shape. Just got to... So this Hangarback Walker is, as usual, kind of showing their stuff. Cool, we're going to draw another Hangarback Walker. That's great. Top card is an island again. So we're going to spend 2 mana here. Equip. We attack for 7, gain 2, so we go to 13. They go to 17. So I think as is, we're not quite winning the race, but we know the top card of their library, and it doesn't do much for them. It can give them 1 life, but nothing else. They did reveal another land. So puts them to 18. They can attack for 4. This turn we're going to take it. Next turn we could block with Hangarback, trade for the Scoos, and get 2 more Thopters. So terms of the way this race is going, we're in good shape. Because we have an extra way to exile their graveyard, it might be worth sacrificing the Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card at some point. Gonna still be a little loose with my life total, exile the top card. Unfortunately, we're still drawing lands. Good scry there, but okay. And Sai is coming down next turn, so gonna be in okay shape. I actually kind of want Sai to come down this turn, so let's sacrifice the Soul Guide Lantern now. If this comes back to bite me in the butt, I will be, you know, chagrined as usual, but okay, we're gonna attack with everything except the Hangarback. We'll leave the Hangarback back. Tell one of you to take a break. Oh, so my plan was, because you are, I think you're probably working early-ish again, I'm going to take a quick break after this deck. So it looks like around 7-ish we'll be doing Temur Urza mid-range, so I figured you'd be able to Skype in for that one. They got a Vivian read coming up next. That is actually significant. So we want to end this game as quickly as we can. Ranking here. Upkeep, we're going to exile this Darksteel Citadel again. Draw land, sure. And then Sparring Construct on top, good. So that's going to give us a Thopter. So Vivian can kill one thing, but... And now we also have Sai giving us ability to draw a bunch of cards. So we're going to attack in with my Sky Squad, which should be able to close this game out. Now that Vivian's going to be able to kill our Pithing Needle. There's nothing we can do about that right now, but I think their Skoos is not going to be able to gain them an infinite amount of life. We might have to Tormod's Crypt them in response to that so that their Skoos can only eat out of our graveyard, and there's 2 creatures there, which means they'll go to 7. They're going to go to 8 by playing this Blooming Marsh. So we should be okay here. Vivian Reed, yep. Destroy Pithing Needle? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna sacrifice it in response, I believe. Yeah. I'm gonna put I'm gonna crank Hangarback in response. Then sacrifice Needle and Hangarback to draw a card, I think. Yeah. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. I just put another creature in my graveyard. Well, oh, I still had time to respond. Oh well. Shoot. Pump the Hangarback, attack it to their... Yeah, that's what I did there. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, they can't gain enough life. Okay, good. They can try to, but I don't think they will be able to. And I can also throw another 1 power on one of my Thopters. I know their whole hand. I think it's a land and a... what is the other card? Hold on. It's a land and a traverse. That's the other card. So I'm going to sack the Sparring Construct, put another +1/+1 counter, another Thopter, just to maximize the amount of damage in the air. Cool. Cool. It's fine. Draw the Stonecoil, play land, crack in with all of my flyers. Should be the game here. Hangarback Walker getting stuff done. Yeah, they can gain 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough. Okay, we're going to yield 2 abilities from Scavenging Ooze until end of turn. Popping my Tormod's Crypt here is not as valuable as... or they can eat the number of creatures that they can gain their 4 life. I still have a lethal attack for 12. Yeah, so that's all their green, and then they die. Got them. Cool. Going to game 3 here. Probably worth having extra Pithing Needle. They do have a lot of stuff to hit with that. Damping Sphere was not good. The Nissa didn't show up, so mostly just screwed us up. Wonder if it might be worth trying to find room for Sai here. Sai just lets us go super, super wide. And Sai also partners really nicely with Urza. Tezzeret I kind of want to keep for grind, same with Mystic Forge. We are able to actually grind with the best of them at this deck, so... Sparring Construct is like pretty middling. Saheeli's probably better. At least it's a one of. Try it that way, I guess. Alright, let's do it. Is Borrower appropriate in this matchup? I don't think so. It doesn't do the things that we need it to do. It's a great tempo card, but like they appear weak to flyers. I guess so, but I feel like one flyer. Okay, it's not really a 2-for-1. It's a tempo for 1. And again, it's not a fast clock. It's like a reasonable clock. Yeah, I don't think so, but I'm willing to be told that I was wrong. Okay, I'm gonna play this game out a little bit quicker. I like Brazen Borrower. I think we're kind of going toe-to-toe with them on the grind game here, and it definitely doesn't do that. They're gonna get tap land, and they also have Thoughtseize maybe. Another black source. Okay, interesting. We drew our Mystic Forge. Well, that's not great. Probably have Fatal Push here, but but if they did, they F6 through my turn. Is this Udo? Tireless Tracker, sure. Tracker on 3 is not the greatest. Can't needle the tracker. Nothing I can do here is particularly relevant, so we're just going to pass the turn. I'm not chump blocking, so I'm just going to crank this while they're tapped out. I'm going to take whatever they want to dish out with the Tireless Tracker this turn. Burrow, sure. So I guess they don't have a land in their hand, or maybe they're looking to see if they want to shock, because they probably don't have 2 lands. Opponent on the value train. In the words of Buck Strickland, he's on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. Okay. Just going to be able to play out Mystic Forge this turn. I guess that's pretty okay. Alternatively, I could just play a 4/4 Stonecoil Serpent or a 3/3 and crank my Hangarback Walker. I'm not sure which of these I really want to do here. Mystic Forge doesn't do that much without any mana to back it up, so I think 3/3 Stonecoil. This is a snake, not a construct. Suppose we can attack for 2 and play a 4/4. This is immune to like half of their removal. Not Fatal Push, obviously, but putting something else in play that they want to Fatal Push is not necessarily a bad thing. Hold Mox for Sai. Yeah, I was holding it the right amount of time, and then for some reason I just didn't. So yeah, you're probably right. I was thinking of the Whir in my hand, but I already have my Mystic Forge, so it's definitely incorrect to play the Mox Amber earlier there. I should have held it for Sai or Saheeli. They did not get a land drop off the top of their deck. Yeah, cool. They're going to get another Tireless Tracker, but that's kind of okay. Gonna crack in with this Stonecoil, then play Karn, make a Construct, and leave the mana up to crank my Hangarback. So we're kind of on the beatdown plan here. Okay. So we can kill either of these. They're about to get a second Tireless Tracker. But they don't currently have any lands happening right now, so we're going to kill the Courser here. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, we're going to kill the Courser. All right. And unfortunately, I am aware of the fact that Clue is not a card name. So I can't Pithing Needle Clue. Kill Tracker. I did not kill the Tracker. The top card of their deck was another Tracker, and therefore they don't have a land drop right now, so I made a choice. We will see. If they rip a land here, they're going to be in good shape with the choice that I made, but looks like they didn't. They got a Jace, sure. That's getting Pithing Needled. Cool. Play Witch's Oven. Hold on. So Pithing Needle, yes. Call Jace. Ren's Prodigy, sure. Play Witch's Oven. We've got a big Whir. I'm going to make another Construct. So then I'm going to attack for 8. Just the 8. And then end of turn we can Whir for the Shadowspear and start swinging with trampling tokens. Sure. We also have the ability to Whir for another Needle. So I guess we could just attack with the 2 Constructs as is and just leave the Whir up. It's probably better even, because having one of them trample is like not great when we can just attack through. So opponent kind of getting messed up by the fact that they can't. Okay, they're Liliana minusing. It's kind of tempting to Whir for like Tormod's Crypt or my Soul Guide Lantern. Actually might Whir for the Lantern here and just take the Uro out of their yard. I think that's what I'm going to do. See what else I have while I'm in there. Getting a Shadowspear on your construct seems pretty good right about now. Funk Soul Brother. Yeah, I guess it could be. I don't know, but having the 2 constructs, they're just going to block the one that doesn't have trample. Like, so I can get Soul Guide, knock out their Uro. I still have this Mystic Forge to play, so I'm going to do that. This might be wrong, but I'm taking the line I'm taking. Oh, sure. Yeah, so like I think the Shadowspear is actually pretty good here. Oh, did they flip another Uro? They did. So then they return the other Uro. Huh. Well, can't win them all. Uro doesn't actually do that much for them right now, though, so we're just going to keep smacking in here. So I can absolutely take this Liliana off the battlefield if I want to, but I think I'd rather just get to killing them. Why not? Should have played the Mystic Forge pre-combat to get the extra damage in. I also could have played a bunch of stuff off the top of my library. I'm just a little overly clock conscious right now. So we're gonna play Mystic Forge and then we're gonna plus the Karn, because if the top card of my library is a cheap artifact, I want to cast it. It's not. It's an island. So this is gonna be +1 draw a card. Okay, there's another island. I've already made my land draw for the turn. We'll activate Mystic Forge and exile it. Maybe we can get a Shadowspear off the top. Mox Amber, sure. Just play another Mox Amber. Hangarback. I can crank the one I have in play. And so I'm just going to leave that on top. Can also pop out 4 Thopters this turn, which are going to make my constructs absolutely enormous. So, okay, make my construct an 8/9, sure. And Uro to gain life, so they're dead unless they have a Fatal Push. They might even be dead with a Fatal Push. So they can Fatal Push my 10/10. Okay, I'm going to maximize damage here and assume... So this is going to make my constructs +6/+6. Oh my god, that's gross. That's amazing. This is a really, really cool last game of this league with this deck. This has been an absolute delight. Oh, what did Karn put in exile? My exile. Stonecoil. Alright, that's not particularly useful. I'm going to exile the top. I'm just going to play this turn out a little bit quickly. Play Tormod's Crypt. Okay, size on top, sure. So we're going to attack for approximately 1 billion here. That should be enough. Why not? Cool. So we hit him from 15 to -19, and we beat Sultai Delirium there. So we got one more match to go, and we've already got our burrito money back, 3-1. Unconventional deck doing unconventionally well, perhaps? You can be a proud member of the Faithless Brewing community with your upcoming 3-2 deck list. Can still hit the 4-1 here, though. Oh, yeah, sure. You can turn Twitch on your phone and listen, and the VOD of this will be up by the morning on YouTube. So you'll always be able to come back here, listen to any thoughts that I have. Your Twitch chat, the chat messages that you're sending should be on screen, and I try to read out most of the relevant ones for when people like to listen in the background. Finally lost a die roll. Yeah, I love playing Magic. I love playing decks that I haven't played before, and be interested to see what tweaks that I would be interested in suggesting afterwards. Okay, the Red Menace. Well, I drew something better to play than a Stonecoil on 1. See you around, Brian. Have yourself the best of evenings, and thanks for tuning in. Is this the Chonk? This is the Chonk. It's not the Slim Fast Red. Stamp? You're stamping my hope. My hope has been stamped. I'm going to take 2. That's fine. So I think Chonky Red is probably a better matchup for us than the Slim Fast Red would be. However, them having a Soul Scar Mage is pretty sucky right now for us. Yeah, so Wild Slash here, the way this is going to resolve, we actually don't get any... We shouldn't get any Thopters? Huh. I don't understand that, but I'll take it. Play a 3/3 Stonecoil. Not likely to block with the Thopter, so we're going to crack in for 1. Pew, pew, pew. No, it's like Ravager, so it works. Oh, no. Yeah. You're right. I was thinking about it in the wrong way. Yep. Yeah, you're right. It does. I know that works that way, but for some reason in the moment I just assumed I was going to get wrecked. Bone Crusher, sure. So the beatdown has been slowed. Ah, they're on the triple Mutavault draw. Okay. Hangarback on 2 or Mystic Forge. Pretty sure Hangarback on 2 is the play here. And with this mix of blockers, I'm just going to hang back. Hopefully they don't have Red Source Glory Banger here. That would be pretty bad. Yeah, Persist Undying is, yeah, that is the correct. If you kill a creature that has Undying with -1/-1 counters, and it had a +1/+1 counter, it will not come back. Thank you, JudgeCast, for answering your most frequent question over and over and over and over again. We're jumping on it, folks. Ooh, they're jumping on us. What does boot up Mutavault mean? Because this, like, we're just going to block that with Stonecoil, right? Boot up second Mutavault. All right. So I think I'm blocking one Mutavault with Stonecoil, the other Mutavault with a Thopter, and then just taking... No, we'll just block that Bone Crusher Giant instead. What? Oh, it's for Embercleave. They don't have double red. And Embercleave only counts attacking creatures. I'm a block just with one Thopter. I don't know if they just screwed up or what, but what is this? Wild Slash. Sure. So I get 2 Thopters here. No, the most frequent JudgeCast question is +1/+1 -1/-1 counter interactions. Play a 4/4 Stonecoil. Yeah, it's better than Mystic Forge right now. Shut. Opponent is on the new Boros Chunky Red that is playing... it's not actually Boros. The Battlefield Forge is a dual land for red and Wingding mana here. So they are going to be playing Thought-Knot Seer somewhere along the way. Okay, so this means they definitely have some kind of burn spell. I'm just going to double block here. So Lightning Strike alone won't do it. They need 2 burn spells here, but that's 2 burn spells that won't be going to my face at least. So yeah, cool. So we're at the point of the game where the burn opponent is praying that we're going to make a mistake. It's a good place to be. I want Psy in before... You know what? Yeah, we're going to play Psy. We're going to play Mox Amber. And I guess I can still activate Psy this turn if I want to. Kind of the way I would want to do this is play the Mystic Forge first, because then I might be able to play more cards before Psy could be killed. But at this point, I think we're in good shape. Probably could have attacked with my 2 Thopters there. I have enough blockers. Definitely next turn we've turned the corner and I'm going to start attacking. Is this Glory Banger? Yeah, it's got to be. No, Torbrand, Thane of Red Fail. Alright. They have no more red mana right now, so we're going to get at least a little bit more time. Playing Castle Embreth in their deck seems quite ambitious. So Mystic Forge here. Trigger. Best thing we could see on top immediately would have been a Mox Amber. I'm play Emry out here. That's going to mill the top, so it'll change it up for us. Guess I could have activated Mystic Forge first, but I'm going to activate my Mystic Forge here, go down 1 life. More islands. It's islands all the way down. I'm going to attack with my 3 Thopters. Nothing else. So we've got a decent number of kind of must-remove threats here, and quite a few blockers. So it's going to be hard for them to get through and kill us out of nowhere, quote-unquote nowhere. But if there's anything that's going to cause it to happen, there is Torbrand in play. Whir for Shadowspear and Equip. That is definitely a play. Maybe this turn. Probably should have done it last turn. I don't know. Yeah, they were tapped off of red entirely, so I could have attacked with a 4/4 lifelink trample Stonecoil. Thing is, I'm at 13, so I think we're okay. If they have triple... Okay, they just scooped out. If they had triple lightning strike in hand, they could have literally just killed us on the spot there. So I guess that's worth noting. So second Shadowspear probably coming in. Brazen Borrower is probably pretty good here. Really good against things like Glory Banger and Torbrand. I feel like Tezzeret's quite slow. He does pop out blockers, but getting up to 5 mana in this match is a little speculative, maybe. I would say Mystic Forge has been A+ every time we've played it. The deck building constraint, I don't know if it's quite worth it, but it's definitely been doing work. Just need one more cut. Play one of the Sparring Constructs. This seems less than great against the deck full of burn spells. Yeah, alright, we're going to try it this way. Shadowspear with Brazen Borrower also seems real tight against their deck if they don't have any response in the exact moment. And Sai is quite good. Alright, we're going to try it like this. Oh, Needle. Yeah, probably should have trimmed Needle. Try to bring my blocker back in. And... probably the other... No, there's probably Chandras in their deck, right? I think I'll keep one because we've got Whir. Like, Hope's another thing that's, like, not too good, but, like, I don't know if putting our artifact density down is all that good. Maybe we'll bring in a Saheeli. Yeah, I feel slightly better about that. Think that's stuck? We'll find out. Nope, Hope's still here. That's okay. The previous one did. Yeah, no. We're keeping one for the Whir on the to turn off their Chandra. It's a pretty slow hand, but I think should be okay. We'll see. So Hope doesn't really do anything here, but it could be a Thopter later, so I think I'm just going to sit on it. You're not slow, Roy. You're just an old man. Like me. We're not agile enough anymore. These new young whippersnappers. Okay, so that's an Emry. I don't think that affects how I'm playing this turn. I think I'm just playing Golden Egg here. I could play Mox Amber, but I think I'm going to use Mox Amber post Sai. So next turn we get to go Sai, Mox Amber, Hope of Ghirapur, and pop out a bunch of Thopters, and that ain't not bad. Or Sparring Construct. Do they play Eidolon? I don't think so. I think these decks are more likely to play what's it's called, but Eidolon is mildly popular right now, more so than it was before because of what is it called? The Breach combo? This is a Breach combo. They would play, I think, Scab Clan Berserker over Eidolon. I'm not exactly sure why. Like, the difference between those two cards is not... They didn't end of turn stomp me, and then they played Bone Crusher. Interesting. So that was definitely the reason not to play out Hope of Ghirapur or Sparring Construct. It would just give them a target for that Bone Crusher. Didn't draw a land here, though, which is pretty sucky. So it means I'm going to have to play my Emry out into this board of doom. I think I'm just going to play the Witch's Oven as well. Witch's Oven allows me to sack my Emry and turn it into food. So hopefully we can draw a land this turn. Other best case scenario is they just boot up both Mutavaults and attack. Then Emry can chump block the Soulscar Mage, and then we... No. Okay. Yep. It's taking at least 8 here. Oof. But if I can draw a land, then I can dodge a ball. Yep. Here comes the Mutavault. Oh, I didn't sack for the food. Yeah. I specifically said that I was going to do it, and then I didn't do it. Land? Yeah, alright. Let's go to Sai. Sai got that big booty. Play Mox Amber. Trigger. If they kill Sai, we get 2 foods. Pretty cool. Pretty slick. I'm going to play Sparring Construct here because it is the better chump blocker out of it versus Hope of Ghirapur. And then we pass the turn back over. Going to have a lot of food here, so if we're able to start using it, the threat of ramming up Ruins ending us is considerably lower. Also, maybe worth noting that if they try to burn our Sai for 4, like if they Wild Slash or something, then we could sacrifice. That's a fry. Seriously? Jeez, alright. Well, Sai is going to become 2 food, so could be worse here. Sparring Construct can block Bone Crusher here and then put a counter onto one of my Thopters. They're leaving mana up, so I wonder if they have maybe another Wild Slash to kill the Thopter that I'm going to put the counter on. Let's find out. Nope. Cool. Land? Yeah, cool. So we get to play Karn and drop a large construct on them. It's a hefty boy. This thing again can sack into 2 foods. It is a 9/9. Tempted to leave both my Thopters back. I don't think closing this game out is something that we're all too concerned with, so... They cannot significantly shrink my construct right now. Lightning strike to my face. What are you striking? Striking Karn. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable play. Okay, good thing I have this backup Karn. Once you see the burn player using spells to kill your planeswalker that's not actually like affecting the board, you usually feel like you're in a good spot. This could be Chandra or Torbrand here. I think on my turn we might crack in with the construct and then play Karn and make the second one. We do eventually need to win this game. Top deck Shadowspear would be the nuts. Whir would not quite get us there. No, we need 1 more mana for that. Is the 2-0 against Burn? Is this Torbrand? No, it's Glory Banger? No, 6. Mizzium Mortars Overloaded. Wow. Okay, so Witch's Oven, Thopter. They kill the other Thopter. They deal 4. They're going to shrink this construct to a 4/4. Okay, so their Bone Crusher Giant can attack here. I think I would just block it and trade. So I don't think they're incentivized to attack here. Best top decks include Shadowspear, Emry. Island is acceptable. Look, the backup Karn. Play the Hope. Make another completely enormous construct. Do I attack for 6? No, I'm a hold back. At least one more turn. So Witch's Oven's kind of doing work. I'm actually down 1 food from where I should be too. So the first match of this league was by far the most disappointing. Set a pretty medium tone, but I'm pleasantly surprised by the way this deck has rallied. We're looking at 4-1 here. And we kind of ran the gamut. We played against Sultai Delirium, we played against Blue-Black Inverter, so played against the chonky Eldrazi deck that didn't seem to draw any Eldrazi. They are tanking hard, so could be in a good spot. One of our Shadowspears is in the bin right now, but there should be a second one in the deck right now. In the deck, yes, there is. Didn't get that Saheeli in instead of the Hope. So actually this being Saheeli would have been quite excellent at this point. Opponent just figuring out if they could do anything about this situation. Their 2 Mutavaults have not been serving them well. Alright, we've got an answer. We do not have an answer. We have an answer. We do not have an answer. There we go. Stamp. It's targeting me. Yeah, that's fine. So they're just going Stomp and Bone Crusher? That's fine. We've got 3 foods in play. We'll be able to crack up to all of them next turn, which is pretty great. And make another construct, so maybe should have stamped the Karn, but Inventors Fair. Yeah, that's an okay draw here. So it costs 4 to sacrifice, so it's actually not going to be too good here. So I'm going to make another construct. We're going to attack for 11. Yeah. Giant Windmills of Death. Did we die miserably and quickly? No, we actually won that match 1-0. No, 2-0. 2-0. The one we won 1-0, was that? No, it might have been Inverter that we won 1-0. It's a weird thing that happened where they just kind of scooped out in a situation where I don't know that they needed to. Just gonna sack a food now proactively. No, yeah. The only thing we lost to was blue-green, like it's like the mono-green Devotion deck splashing blue. They probably had Stubborn Denials, but we never saw them. Cool. So they drew a Battlefield Forge. I'm 1 mana off of being able to Inventors Fair at end of turn. So I guess proactively sacking that food was wrong because I could have gotten Shadowspear now and guaranteed the win. But I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, if I had to guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Inventors Fair, sack it, go get the spear. Yeah, we don't have enough mana. So we're gonna plus Karn, see if we can draw the Shadowspear here. They're not gonna give it to us, but we reveal Darksteel Citadel and Stonecoil. So I'll play the Citadel. Okay. So they have to block all my constructs if I attack with them. I'm just gonna attack with 2. Got more food in reserve. Fair for Shadowspear. We don't have the mana. We'll do that on this turn cycle. So there's a crazy low number of draws that would allow them to get out of this. So what I should have done was I shouldn't have proactively sacked the food. I was just playing nervous against mono red, but I didn't need to as much as I did. So I sacked a food on the last turn cycle, which meant I was 1 mana short of being able to use the Inventors Fair there. I thought it was 3 in sack, but it's actually 4 in sack. It's been a while since I played that. We hit the 4-1 with mono blue Scion of Urza. So we hit the 4-1. There was plenty of luck involved along the way in Magic, as usual. However, this deck really, really impressed me. The construction was just a little bit more clever than I was thinking all along the curve. So Stonecoil Serpent and Hangarback Walker is definitely strong constructed playable cards. So is Emry. Almost the entire rest of this deck is somewhat questionable. Pithing Needle is obviously pretty good. But things like Shadowspear and Hope of Ghirapur and Soul Guide Lantern and Sparring Constructs in this sort of arrangement, it's just hard to look at this and think of exactly how powerful this is going to be. But it was really impressive. There's probably plenty of things you can tinker with here and try to... Yeah, we hit the 4-1. Try to optimize this deck. My biggest suggestion would be to splash into white for the card Glass Casket. Now, I don't know if it has to be main deck or not. But I think you can get away with that. And then other than that, there's a lot of islands in this deck. So really quickly, I want to do a cursory Scryfall here. Do F... Pioneer, T land. Yeah, so we're gonna look at all the lands in Pioneer and let's see if there's anything else we should be playing. So Blast Zone, I think we should be probably playing at least 1 copy of Blast Zone. Blighted Cataract, probably not. There's probably a decent number of utility lands, just because it's just a slew of islands, and I feel like we can do a little bit better than that. Desert of the Mindful enters the battlefield tapped, so I'm not really interested in that. Detection Tower is not particularly good, especially when we're already playing Shadowspear. Field of Ruin. We should definitely be playing copies of Field of Ruin, I'm pretty sure. Cryptic Caverns? I don't think so, but I mean, it's possible. Let's see. Gaia Reach Sanitarium, something we could play. I think Seagate Wreckage is legal. Pretty sure. So there's a good number more utility lands we could be playing. Labyrinth of Scophos, Karn's Bastion. Yeah, Karn's Bastion in this deck. Definitely should be maybe a fun of. So Brian, if you're out there watching this, there's definitely a number of things we could be playing. A Mirror Pool, even no, that enters the battlefield tap. Never mind that. Not that one. Mutavault. Could definitely be playing some copies of Mutavault. So I don't know which ones in which combination. Radiant Fountain, if this is in fact Pioneer legal, I believe that it is. Yep. So could be playing a copy of that. Ipnu Rivulet, already mentioned that one earlier. Yeah, there's Seagate Wreckage. So make yourself a list of these cards and have at it. Also want to look at all the artifacts. So type artifact. I feel like there are some interesting things that if you're going to play Whir of Invention are probably worth grabbing. Again, I'm not sure what they all would be, but there's probably something. You have things like Aligned Hedron Network, so obviously you've done some amount of research into this. Going into white, Birth of Meletus might be a card worth playing because it puts an 0-4 artifact into play. And there are a lot of aggro decks in this format. Anyway, you can do the research yourself. I might do so because there was a decent result with this. I do like the cleanliness of the mono blue version of this deck, so definitely can log this in as a successful test run at least. So what's wrong with the Cryptic Caves? You sack it. I guess I'd rather play something like Archer Varazka because we looked like we were hitting Ascend most of the time. City's Blessing. Because you have to sacrifice Cryptic Caves, whereas like you almost have the Archer Varazka mana there. I guess it's pretty mana intensive, but if we're hitting that stage of the game, I think I'd almost rather have a Seagate Wreckage or Archer Varazka most of the time. I just don't like the idea of sacrificing the land. Although we could play the fun of Crucible of Worlds with Field of Ruin. Anyway, gonna take a 5-minute break or so. Looks like I'll be back at 7. We'll take a 9. No, we'll take about a 5-minute break. However long it takes me to grab food, return cards, and flip over for Teamer Urza mid-range.